Okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple of exercises, very simple little exercises that if you do them will make a big change in your Tai Chi. All right. Watch this part. This out of 24, really, right? But watch this. If you just learn the outer form of that, that's called empty Tai Chi. So you might be okay with it. But if you don't have the insides, the Tron, right, that I've got here, your Tai Chi is always going to be empty. The reason that we do Tai Chi slowly is to focus on this, not this. So think about the old Chinese saying for Tai Chi. Your power is generated in the legs. It's directed by the waist. It's expressed in the hands. We all in Western culture, and this is actually true in the East too, but we are so hand-eye coordinated, spend so much time working with tools and doing this, we forget all this. And it's all about this. So when you learn Tai Chi, you think it's all about the hands. When the truth is, it's all about this. So put your feet side by side, shift your weight. Now, when you shift your weight, you have to use a catenary arch in your body. You can't straighten this up and just shift your weight. Look how stiff that looks. I even stiffen my shoulders up. Relax your shoulders and watch. Now it's an arch. What's the difference? When you go like this, you're locking your hip joints and maybe your knees too. Instead, you relax them. So they're very flexible. You can really flex into where the red line is here, into your quad. Good. All right. Turn your waist. Now, express it in your hands. You could express it in your elbows. You could express it in your shoulders. But let's just do the hands. So do this exercise 10,000 times every morning, right? And you're going to learn a lot. Now, this was with the feet side by side. You can do exactly the same exercise with, for instance, your left foot forward. Okay? So we're not side by side. Now we're left foot forward. Shift your weight. Turn your waist. And punch. Now watch. Watch this, not my hands. Watch. That's the same as this. The engine works the same way in both cases. What are these white points? They're my hips. My actual hip joints are not out here. They're in here. Seriously. Look at an anatomy book. Right? That's where this red line is coming from. Right? Now they're down a little bit, but I put them here in the waist because you're moving your chi one to the other. Move my chi, move my chi, move my chi. Shift your weight.
So you're not swaying as much as rotating.
There's more rotation going on. It's really obvious when the feet are side by side. It's rotating. With 1 foot back, it's the same thing. It's just you got 1 foot back. And when you do the form, this is what you should be doing. Once you know this with your hands, then focus on this, because this is really what Tai Chi is. There's another way to say this. The Dantian is a sphere inside the body. And that is true. It actually is a sphere inside the body. When you start Tai Chi, your sphere is maybe the size of a pea, or maybe a marble. And if you practice, it will grow to the size of a ping pong ball, and then the size of a small orange. And eventually you'll become like Grandmaster Fung. Well, it will be like a beach ball, right? It's huge. And that's true. But there's another way to think about this. That your Dantian is actually huge. And it encompasses your whole body from above your head to under your feet. You're standing in the middle of a sphere. And that sphere has a surface and it has an insides. We tend to pay attention to the surface because that's what we see, and pay less attention to this. But in Tai Chi, you reverse that. You pay more attention to this and less to the surface. But the truth is, the inside and the outside are actually the same thing. This is the inside of my arm. This is the outside of my arm, but there's only one arm. All right? When you move, you're going to be moving both the inside and the outside. So watch. Where's my chi? Where's my chi? So it's going from here to here, here to here. That's the internal movement. The arm is just floating on that. This is the inside, this is the outside. But it's all the same sphere. Well, you can see this movement. Inside, outside. If I snap this, it becomes a martial art. If I just take it nice and slow and gentle and just pay attention to the mind, the energy, the body structure, now it's Qigong. Sink into the red line and then to the white dot on the right. And now the white dot on the left. Sink into the red line. And now go up to the white dot on my right. And now the white dot on my left, over here. If you consider Tai Chi as a martial art, you are anticipating that you might be in physical conflict at some point in your life. That's why you're doing a martial art. If you get into that conflict, you are not going to have time to work this out, to figure out how I should move. So you do years and years and years of practice so that it's not something you think about anymore. It's just something you do. Susan, we were talking about it last week, and I'm thinking about it again. Alexander Groyevich, or whatever his name is, playing the Rachmaninoff third. Oh my God, it just amazes me. But what he's done in music is what I'm talking about doing with our bodies. Not to become martial artists. We're all well beyond being martial artists. But you can use the same technology to integrate yourself. Mind, because this all starts in the mind, your energy, your chi, and your physical body. That's worth doing in and of itself. It's really worth doing. If your mind, your energy, and your body are in 3 different places, that's not the optimum situation. Right? So the advantage to me of learning Tai Chi is to learn to bring all those together. I think you could learn music and do much the same thing, at least if you were learning a kind of music that really uses the body, like piano or guitar. Maybe they do the same thing in flute. I'm not using my imagination. But they combine mind, energy, breath, and body. And the integration that comes from that is a form of self-realization. That's the point. It's not to become a martial artist. It's to become a me artist, right? It's to awaken and integrate those different aspects of our lives. Now, the truth is, my teacher, Master Zhang, never said a word about that. Master Feng was different. He would get into these kinds of conversations a little bit. Master Zhang, no. Master Zhang was very conservative. Master Feng was very liberal. They were very, very different people. Master Zhan, my teacher, absolutely worshipped Grandmaster Feng. Truly, he truly did. So this very conservative guy just thought the world of Master Feng. They were both really great guys. But this is the advantage of learning this. That's why we do it slowly. Because as you're learning, you know, I've done that move 100,000 times at least. I'm still working on it. I'm not saying it's perfect just because I've done it 100,000 times, because it's not. But at least I know what I'm working on. You guys are right at the beginning. It doesn't matter how young or how old you are. It doesn't matter how athletic or how unathletic you are. All that matters is that you practice. Because every human being has this capacity. Every human being has the capacity to make music, to draw, and to do Tai Chi. Right? So, but pay attention. In the previous class, people were talking about how disappointed they were in European Tai Chi classes. And the same thing is true for most American Tai Chi classes. There's nothing about the inside. It's just, oh, we're just making beautiful, beautiful motions. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not Tai Chi. If you want to do Tai Chi, then you got to do what you guys have been doing, which is learn the outer choreography so that you've got something to work with, and then go into the inner choreography. And the inner choreography for this begins by sinking into the right, into the red on the left, and then shifting your weight back and turning your waist, shifting your weight back and turning your waist. If you can grab that much of this, are there other levels? Yes, there are other levels, but I don't think a teacher can teach you those levels. You have to find them yourself. So you get that very basic level where you learn the outer choreography. Then you get the more intense level of learning the inner choreography. And then if you're going to be a good student, you just practice. You practice, 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 and the form will teach you. I say that all the time, and I think people think I'm just bullshitting them. I mean it. It's really true. It's like you learn to play the keyboard. Then you learn to play the composer. And if you get both of those at a reasonable level, and you keep practicing, the music, the score, the music itself will begin to teach you. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Tai Chi is so rich, like music itself. And it has enough to teach you for many, many lifetimes, I think.
Malcolm.
Yeah.
I also think that you just feel it when you're doing it. Like if you're not stable, or if you're like, it feels uncomfortable, you're like, okay, this is probably wrong. That's how I feel that it teaches you, because you just like
that's
you
one of the exactly, Rand. That's one of the main ways it teaches you. The truth is, you ought to be able to do a form from beginning to end without ever feeling that you're losing your balance, without ever getting to a place where your Tai Chi is empty. I'm doing something, but I don't know what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. It's empty. I don't know where my Qi goes. I don't know what's going on. Now, of course, every beginner begins there. Well, that's nothing wrong with that. Of course, you have to do it that way. But as what you're trying to do, if you're learning piano, is to master the piano. If you're trying to learn Tai Chi, you want to master Tai Chi. You want to become a master. Of course you do. That's what you should do. To become a master means from the beginning to the end, it's an unbroken thread of balance, of understanding, of moving your chi. It's not about being a mighty man or a mighty martial artist. That's fine. That's fine for 18-year-old guys. But as Rand was saying, if you just pay attention, Rand, I'll tell you what most people do. They'll do the form and they'll come on a place where they're unsure of their balance. Their balance is not very good. You know what they do? Rather than understand that as a place where they need to work on things, okay, I'm losing my balance. Why am I losing my balance? What am I doing that is causing me to lose my balance? Something's wrong. Instead, what they do is they rush past it to get on to the next thing and to get over that uncomfortable feeling of being unbalanced. I totally understand that. We all do that all the time in life. Don't we, Kevin? Right? We do this all the time. I do it, you do it. But the truth is, we shouldn't do it. We should go, something's not quite right there. Maybe if I really paid attention to that, I could figure out why I consistently lose my balance at this one point. What am I doing wrong? And what we discover, I'm not telling Rand anything because I know he knows this, but what you will discover is there's something subconscious in your mind. So for instance, it may be your body map, your internal map of how your body works. Do you ever think about that? Most people don't. All right. If you ask most people to point to their hips, this is what they'll do. Those are not your hips. Those are your cosmetic hips. Your hip joints are in here. If your mind says they're out here, instead of 4 or 5 inches in, you're going to lose your balance. Annie said she watched a video the other night about elephants. They blindfolded the elephants. And guess what? The elephants couldn't walk. They couldn't keep their balance. Oh, that's interesting. A lot of their sense of balance is visual. You take away the visual part and they don't know how to keep their balance. If you think that's not true of human beings, try doing the form. Try doing the first section of the form with your eyes closed. You will immediately find out that a lot of your sense of balance is visual. However, if you keep doing it every day, every day, every day, every day, you will get to the point where you're able to do the form with your eyes closed and keep your balance. You will have changed your consciousness. So anyway, it's about this, not about what's going on the outside. One of the problems I've always had with just teaching the outside of the form is everybody thinks that's all there is. So if I just kind of learn the outside of the form, right? Well, then I've got it. Now I know Tai Chi. Now, even on the outside of the forum, that's your ticket to get inside the tent. Inside the tent's where the real stuff happens. All right, let's go back to where we left off last time. Where's your chi? Where's your chi? We're not shifting our weight in this case, we're just turning and turning the waist. There's a move in the 71, which we'll learn next January, right? Called is shoveling something over your shoulder. Right? In this case, you do it without the shovel, you just hit them with the shoulder. Now speaking of your balance, right? Okay, let's work on that part of it here. I think we got up to here last time. Weight forward, weight back, and now you're gonna scoop under, and then lift this up your the front of your spine, up the Chong Mai. All right, and do mine. Now, I should do this facing. All right. This hand is going to come out, chopping out like this. So you might be hitting somebody with the edge of your hand. Right? You might be hitting with your fingers. And then you draw back and do a hidden hand punch. Spin. And kick. And then turn your foot. So there should be a jump in there. You can also walk through. To tell you the truth, the jump is actually a little easier if you can do it. Because you're also spinning at the same time. And when you try to walk through a spin, you can really reef your ankle. So just be a little gentle when you do it. When you're jumping and spinning, you don't reef your own ankle because it's not on the ground. All right. So you can just walk through this. I don't have a good walkthrough because I never used to walk through it. I would always jump. Let me adjust the camera a little.
Malcolm,
Yeah.
looks to me like you're leaving out the second thing.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I can't think about these things.
I know.
What does that remind you of?
You're leaving out the this part where you go boom, and then you do this.
Isn't that what you're talking about?
No,
No, because
Yeah.
you need the figure eight after doing it. You need to like
right, and
Yeah.
and punch.
Let me see if I can remember it.
Okay.
Same move as the third move in the form. Okay, Rand, let me see you do it. And for whatever you do, don't forget that figure eight. Okay, Susan, let me see you do it. Okay, so we're out of time for today, but I'll prepare this for next Saturday. We need to clarify what happens when you do the jump, especially the footwork. And that's gonna take a little doing. We'll have to do it very slowly. But if you feel like doing the jump, you can do it, but we also need to work it out for just stepping through. So there's a very very particular. Well, I'm running out of camera room then, so we'll have to figure out, I'll have to figure out how to do this even in the camera room. I might even just, make those little feet like they have in a dance studio, where the feet go in certain directions. Well, this is a tricky little thing, and honestly, you truly can twist your ankle doing this if you're just walking through. So there are things that you can do. For instance, you don't just step forward like this. You step forward like this. So you're already halfway around. Right? So let me work on it this week, and then we'll do it next weekend. Yeah, Kevin.
I had this book. I got to track it down. I lent it to somebody, but it was a book of Chen Man Ching and Robert Smith. And there was a pullout at the end with the Arthur Murray dance steps for the whole 108 Yang style form. It was hilarious.
That's wonderful. Malcolm, I won't be here next weekend. I'm going to be in Tucson. Okay. My brother doesn't have any space for me to work in, so I'll have to check.
Me neither.
So you're not going to be here next week, all next weekend?
No.
Okay, and Susan, you're not going to be here all
No,
week?
I can't. No, I can't do it at all.
All right, so let's just. What about the next weekend?
Next weekend I'll be in Tallahassee. I can do it there. Okay,
let's just skip next weekend. We won't do it because you're not going to be here, and
yeah.
that'll give me 2 weeks to prepare this. And then
okay.
And then we'll do this in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys.
All right. Thank you.
See you later.
See ya.